Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. Welcome to our group presentation. My name is Lai Hui, the first presenter of today's presentation that will be covered chapter 9 of The Village by the Sea. That was a book written by Anita Desai. Before getting started, I along with all my team members would like to take a moment to appreciate our lecturer for giving us the opportunity to experience this task. Also, it wouldn't be done without the help of our group, which consists of 5 members including me, Amrit, Whitney, Kim Sua, and Yura. Without any further delay, let's get started with the content of this presentation. We've divided our presentation into 5 main parts. First of all, we'll be introducing the characters and followed by the summary. Next, we're going to focus on the analysis based on Psychoanalytic Criticism Theory and continue with the connection between the text and real life. And we will end our presentation with the conclusion. After our discussion, we have decided to portray 12 characters such as Harry, Leela, Kamal, Bella, Jagu, Mr. Panvala, Mr. and Mrs. De Silva, Syed Ali Sahib, the policeman, the old gentleman, and the old woman. So, let's now go straight with the summary of the chapter. Harry got along well with his co-workers and especially with Jagu. However, the work wasn't easy for him in the violet kitchen of the Sri Krishna eating house that seemed to grow hotter and hotter and never cool down even at night. Since it was that hot in the eating house, Harry was once got up and gone out to sit on a pavement which is a bit cooler. The old watchmander, Mr. Panvala, who had stayed late to finish some work on a watch, had come over to him and suggested him to go to sleep in the park. Harry was always grateful to this man because the advice for the park changed his life and made it easier to endure. The park was watched over by a policeman in khaki. The policeman did not want Harry to sleep there and was about to hit him with his nightstick when an old gentleman who happened to be walking by stopped and chastised him for bullying the innocent boy and told him to go and take care of the real riffraff. The policeman felt bad that he had written a child and decided to go inspect the drunkards. After that, the policeman always said hello to Harry and never bothered him, so Harry felt safe and even quite grand to have a policeman guard him while he slept. During his mornings and evenings in the park, Harry saw the same people, an old man who fed the pigeons and an old woman who fed the aunts and school children. They made him think of his sisters and he wished he would have given them his address so they could write and send him news of home. Mr. Panvalas, the kindest and the most helpful to Harry, asked if Harry might like to learn about watch and become his apprentice. He could pay him a little and he might become a watchmaker one day. Harry was thrilled and incredulous that this man was offering employment to a village boy. This became a source of joy and hope for Harry. Jagu had no problem letting him go to work with Mr. Panvalas during his time off. Fortunately, Harry became an apprentice watchmander and saw it was possible to have a future. The watchmander told Harry that by the time the monsoon is over, he'll be mending watch on his own. Looking back in Toll, the visitor arrived at Mont Repos while the Silva family was preparing to depart. Mr. De Silva reassured Leela that her mother will be fine and it is best to leave her in the hospital for the rest of the wet monsoon season. He will stop by on their way out and give her father a bit of funds for necessities. Mrs. De Silva called out for her to look out for Syed Ali and gave her a few things to remember. Syed Ali Sahib, a thin elderly man, was quiet, polite, and rarely seemed to interact with people. The girls once helped him up and retrieved his bag and papers when he stepped backward off the log into the creek. He gratefully and shyly thanked the girl and gave Bella and Kamal some money for sweets. As for Leela, by taking the earnings at the end of the month from the visitor, she was very happy and bought food for her family. She hoped the gentleman would stay on and on so that she could continue to earn money. The summary of this chapter has come to an end. I would like to invite the next presenter, Kim Sua, to take over the next part.
Thank you, Lai Hui, for brief summary of this chapter. Now let's move to my part. Before that, let me introduce myself first. Hello teacher and hello everyone. My name is ENG SUB and I'm the presenter of this part. My part is talking about the man missing in the story. The first main theme is talk about character of Harry and Leela. We would draw the main ideas from their behavior. As the result, we get first main idea from their behavior is about hard working would pay off. We can see that in the story, Harry was a hard working person. He worked so hard in the eating house, as hard as learning how to fix watch from Mr. Penwala. In return, Harry got some little money from eating house and a skill for his own future. And Leela, she and her sister were working for this silver family to take care of Sayyid Ali's daily life. As the result, Leela got some money for her family and her sister got some money for sweet as reward for them to offer a hand when his paperwork got wet. After these two examples, we can say that every hard working would pay off sooner or later, but it also depends on us, ourselves as well. And we can see three psychoanalytic criticism. The first one is needs. Harry worked hard in that eating house because that place provided food for him, and also he did not have anywhere to go in Mumbai. As well as Leela, because of her family was in a bad condition, so she worked hard to provide her families, even she was a girl. The second one is desire. Harry and Leela both had desire of having a better life for their family. We can see Harry keep all the money for his family and keep thinking about his sister all the time. And Leela keep the money to buy what her family needs, but not only for herself. The last one is value. Both Harry and Leela give value to hard working. Like Harry not only worked hard in the eating house, but also worked hard on learning from Mr. Penwala, and he did not give up before his hard working paid off. And for Leela, she worked hard to take care of Sayyid Ali, even she thought he was a bit strange. She chose to work hard, unlike her friends who wait for her own life would be better by itself. At the same time, we also see another main idea in their behavior as well. It is about the love for their family. Even Harry hated his family and ran away. Still, Harry missed his family and his home every time. He did not care how far he could go, but started to thinking about how hard he was going to work for his family and keep his money for them. The same as Leela, she was a girl, but she still carried on her family, looked after her sister and the house. She worked so hard so that her mother could rest well in the hospital. We can understand that even we feel that our family is not good enough, but when we are far away, we would miss them, just like a word home sweet home. We also can see one another psychoanalytic criticism in this main idea as well. It is about value. We can see that because of both of them give value to their families, that's why they become working hard. And at the same time, family is the power that push them to move forward, do not look back or back off, because they know that if they back off or break down, they know that their family could not hold tight together anymore. In short, the main two ideas in this part, which is work hard would pay off and the value of the family, It comes from their behavior. It was a hidden mistake that they themselves give value of from the bottom of their heart. And now this is the end of my part, so let my friend Yura continue another part of this main mistake.
Thank you, Kumsu, for your presentation. Now move to my part, and first of all, I would like to say good morning, teachers and everyone. My name is Yura. Now move to the second message. As human being, everyone should not look down at others or judge them by their appearance. For instance, in the story show that Jagu, Mr. Panvala, the Zilla family are very kindful. Meanwhile, Jagu provide work, food, money to Harry without any hesitation, while Mr. Panvalas even gives a useful skill as a watchmander to Harry. Additionally, the Zilva help Lila family to get better. And you may say why or what reason? Well, the result from desire. These people want to see poor being better and escape from the current conditions. To focus more, you can see Mr. Panvalas is absolutely helpful toward Harry. Even though Harry looked so dirty and stupid, Panvalas teach him to be clever, skillful, and train him to be able to repair the broken watch. Panvalas want to see Harry can survive himself by skill, not working under others. Moreover, we have an old gentleman who can see clearly about society and want to improve it. For example, he bullied the police that have conflicts with the poor Harry. The old gentleman tried to persuade the police to see what is right and what is wrong. Why doesn't the police use his time to reduce or eliminate the gambling, thief, criminal, and etc.? On the other hand, we can see that police chase Harry to get out of the park by not allowing him to sleep there. That because of fear. And why fear? Because the police might not want others to see him as useless. So the police see Harry as weakness, and that is his opportunity to show he benefits all. And that also lead to conflict between Harry and the police. The police might know himself that he cannot complain the gambling group that present around the park. Our group also have one different scenario that the police might value Harry as a thief, that he could make trouble to the police. So the police had better force Harry to go away. All in all, we cannot see someone characteristic by their appearance or behavior because we do not live in the same environment. Different societies will behave differently. Therefore, we have to see and find out the truth before making a conclusion. That's the end of my presentation, and I would like to invite Amrat to be the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Yura, and hello, lecturer and my beloved classmate. My name is Hai Amrit. I'm going to cover the fourth main point, which is analysis of the connection between the studied text and real life. So let us get into it. So for the first point is abuse of power. In the story, Harry had planned to spend the night in the city park. While he was lying there, the park police came up to him and said, "Get up, go home, or I'll take you to the police station." Not only throwing out words, the policeman also raised his baton intentionally to hit Harry's head. Harry was speechless. If only the old gentleman didn't show up, Harry would have been beaten up by the policeman. In this part, we can see that the policeman had taken advantages using the power of the authority of him being a police to threaten Harry, who was weak and clueless. Without my considerations or even any intentions to explain Harry the park's rule, he had already spoken with his fierce action. Just like a quote say that, any power that used without caring those affected is abusive power. In this quote, it's tried to illustrate that whether the action is intentionally or unintentionally, if it was used carelessly to threaten other people with your social status, the power will fall into the category of abusive. In real life, there are many cases of people abuse their power. Let's take some company boss as an example. They sometimes like to order their employee around and push their unfinished work for their assistant to complete. And of course, the assistant and the employee have no right to complain. Even though in the boss' eye, it was just some small work, but for the employee who has tons of work needed to be done, it just turned out to be a burden and extra work. And yes, it can be unintentionally. However, these actions were seen as an abusive power at the workplace. So let's move on to the second point. Different perspective. In the story, Harry had woken up to the lively park. He saw a man was gathering grains for the pigeon and an old lady was sprinkling the floor on the anthill. In the man and the old lady points of view, this is just a normal routine to them. They happily spending money to feeding the animal in the city park. But for Harry, money is very precious to him. He thought to himself that he would never waste it to feed this stray animal. Additionally, the De Silva children really adored the shells and paper they had collected from the beach. They eagerly want to bring it along with them back to Bombay. But for Bella and Kamal, they had used to seeing them later on the beach and didn't fancy them at all. Both of these events illustrate that people see and value things differently. One might find things to be valuable and priceless, but on the other hand, some people might think that it is worthless and cheap. In real life, the different perspective of each person is influenced by their living conditions and surrounding. What they had experienced and encountered will shape their point of view over something. As a consequence, people will judge or think distinctively. For example, we throw cans and bottles in the bin. Normally, we would think that one or two of those cans are not worth it to be saved, but for poor people whose life depends on recycling, these bottles are useful to their necessity and survival. Sure enough, we gave the bottle less value in our point of view since we are well off. That is all for my part. I would like to invite our friend to continue our presentation.
Thank you, Bomrat. Hello, lecturers, and hello, everyone. My name is Yi Whitney, and I'm responsible on this part after Bomrat and also the conclusion part. So let's move to our main idea. Life is a struggle. Since Harry is the big responsibility in the house, so he needs to work hard in order to earn the money to support the family condition. But Earn money is not that easy as his imagination. It includes all of his effort, time, and his freedom. As you can see in the story, Harry decided to go to Bombay, that is far away from his hometown, and work in a small eating house. But that eating house is not required, so he needs to serve the customer with the tea or bread whenever they demand it. Also, he had a hard time in finding a sleeping place. He can't sleep in the eating house because of its fiery heat, stale smell, and stuffy air. From this job, he can earn a rupee in a day, which comes to 7 rupees in a week. In addition, even this job is complicated for him, but he still can manage himself to learn how to repair the clock tick from Mr. Panbala. So, if we look to the real life situation, people, either rich or poor, they are very trying hard to earn the money to support their family. In order to get that money, they try to find it in many ways, even though they know that they will face some difficulty or taking risks. Some people are trying so hard by not even care about their health until they getting sick or sometimes even harm on their life. So it's not come out with a good result, but it's only waste time and waste energy for nothing. That is called life, and don't try to waiting for the luck. It's not come for you if you don't try to find it yourself. And the best way to predict your future is to create it. So let's move to our last main idea, that is about good soul will be bright even in the dark. By seeing his attitude and personality, we can clearly knowing that Harry is having a good soul that makes everyone like and feeling pity for him. With this great thing, Harry wins many people's heart that make him gain more chance to build up his life once again. Because of his hard working and honesty, Jagu really pleased to offer him this job. He is very proud of Harry and his family. After seeing and feeling pity toward Harry, Mr. Panbala also asked him if he wants to learn to repair the clock tick from him when Harry free from Jagu place, and it is only spent 2 hours a day. If we move to our real life situation, a person who is hardworking and honest is very hard to find. This kind of people is rare and priceless. This good soul comes from the nature, their mindset, and also their surrounding environment. With this good soul, even though they face many struggles, but they still end up with a good result with the help of the surrounding people that can see their effort. This kind of person will have difficulty in life at first, but they will become successful in one day. Like this quote said that, rich people is everywhere, but a person with a beautiful soul is rare. For the conclusion part in this chapter 9, we can see that Harry's life is getting more and more bright with the beginning of successful. And it is also the answer that he has chosen the right choice to work in Mumbai. It may be a hard time for him, but it also paid him back the priceless result that his family, himself, and also us are waiting for. Also, it shows that good person will get back the good thing that they deserve, even if it takes a short or a long time. And luck is not always for the people who do nothing and waiting for it, but it is for the one who trying hard to get it. And that's all of our group presentation. Thank you everyone for paying attention. Thank you.